Come sit down, we'll talk about it. All right, so it's asking you what kind of writing would fit each statement. So here we're looking at audience, so basically we're saying what kind of reading material would this audience read, or how would you write for that audience, okay? So if you were thinking of your boss or your supervisor, what kind of writing would you probably mostly do for that boss or that supervisor? Think of it that way. So everybody here's had a job at some point. What kind of communication in writing would you do mostly with that supervisor? If you're saying expository, then you're thinking you're writing long explanations about informing them about things. So think about it. What would you mostly write to your boss? In what kind of writing?
Tell what happened when.
Okay, sure. So if you had to do an incident report,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was thinking.
Or an email?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So maybe you're thinking, that's why you're thinking expository.
Yeah.
You're thinking about that. Okay. But do you think emails fall under that? Or do you think emails are kind of, and texts are kind of functional?
I was struggling
Yeah.
between that.
I would say, okay, maybe some of this, but I would say your main writing to your boss would be functional. Your boss asks you to fill out a report, asks you to check in, do this form, that form. I would say probably mostly functional, most of the time, right? Boy, this, a communications expert.
Is that why it says functional writing over there for an example?
Yeah, that's why it does. That's awesome, good spotting. Okay, a communications expert. Who is a communications expert? What is a communications expert?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Let me guess. Maybe
An
an expert
expert at communicating.
at communicating, okay? Maybe a reporter or a newspaper person or whatever. I don't even know why we would be communicating with them. Let's see what I wrote down in my little answer key here. I wrote expository, research, functional. I had those three down.
They all three work then?
Yeah, I mean, we're never writing the same way to the same kind of person every time, right? Like, I don't only write functional things to my kids. Sometimes I want to express feelings to them or tell them a story, right? So, yeah. So this one I had E, I had F, I had R, you could even have D, descriptive. The general public. So if you're writing out there to the general public, if that's your audience, you know everybody's going to read it. It's going to be up on one of those posters over there. What kind of writing would you probably most likely use?
I felt like it was research report.
Okay, sure. Which, could be, they have E here, expository, and a research report is a kind of expository writing. So yeah, for sure. Yep.
So it can be R also?
Sure.
Okay.
It can also be R. Research, well, because, R is E too.
But it could also be narrative.
It could also be narrative. Maybe you want to tell the general public a story, right?
Yeah.
Basically, probably most things other than J, which is your journal, right? Family members, friends, strangers. Again, you could write them a narrative, you could write them a story, you could write them, an expository piece, you could write them whatever. Probably everything but your journal. Because the whole purpose of a journal is to share private things, right? So everything but a journal. Older and younger people. Now here's the thing.
Descriptive.
Descriptive, yeah, and what else? Like, if you think of little old folks in a home, I always am scared of being one of those people. Not that I don't love little old folks in the home, I'm just like, I don't want to be in an old folks home one day. Anyways, or children, what do you think they generally like to hear, to read? What would be good for them? What do we read to children, basically? Yeah. Yeah, I would say heavy on the narrative or the descriptive. For the older people, maybe news, expository related, but yeah, I would think that would probably be my go-to for that one. Okay, these ones down here. People with disabilities and able-bodied people. You guys had D, descriptive. Why did you choose that? I like that.
Because you can paint a vivid picture of people with disabilities.
Okay, sure. Okay, but you're writing to these people and you might want to describe something that they're going to need to do that might be a little with different, like for people with disabilities, you might need to describe now. To get to regional connections, this and this, you might describe the building so that they know how they can get in if they're in a wheelchair or something like that, right? So very descriptive. Men and women, if you're writing to men and women, again, could be any of them.
Yeah.
Functional, we talk about that a lot of the writing we do is functional, right? People from different cultures. Why did you guys choose R? Research report.
Because you can tell them about a specific
Okay, sure. Maybe
just
you're
information
Yeah.
about
maybe you're writing a report
cultures.
about something in Canada that other people from other cultures should know about. People with different literacy skills. E. Expository. So this just basically means that when you're writing to people that you know might not be able to understand some of the bigger words,
Yeah.
you might,
Right.
rate lower. If you're writing to someone who has super high literacy skills, you might search for like super high words, stuff like that. Okay? All right, let's take a bit of a break. Go if you guys need to go use the washroom or walk around a little bit to get some fresh air. And let's come back in about 10 minutes and finish going through your packets.
Do you need to study that yet?
Oh, no.
Yes, but